Alright guys, so today I kind of wanted to start working on that trivia game idea we had, and I think I found a location for it that'll work out pretty good. Uh, so our first base is over there, so we're close to that. I wanted to pick a location that would be easy for you to find, because this is mostly intended for you guys, something fun for you to do if you download my world. And this is the spot I found. It's just off the ocean here to the right. You'll be able to see it if you're going by. Pretty easy. And we're close to 0, 0, so pretty sure you'll be able to find it. Yeah, I was just going to build it over here. I think it's far enough away from our first base there that shouldn't be any lag issues with redstone and that, I hope. I hope. You never know. And yeah, I was just going to build it here. I'm thinking kind of having a log cabin style thing. And maybe a dock for the ocean, boat dock, that kind of stuff. But I'll worry about the redstone stuff first, and then we'll put a building around it after. And this is the spot I was thinking. I'll have our question board in front of us. I'll have to remove a lot of this soil here, but it's not going to be too bad. The main reason I want to build it here is because we've got this hillside in the back, and I don't know how much space I'll need for the redstone wiring and all that, so if I need more, I can just build it into the hill, and it will be nicely hidden out of sight, so should be good. Should be good, I hope. So I'll start working on it, and I will see you shortly. I got a bit of the hillside cleared away now, just enough to allow us to get started here. We'll probably have to clear more eventually, but I just wanted to be able to put down our panel here. This is the question panel. So on the first row here, we'll have a glowstone indicator light to show us which question we are on. It's going to be 11 questions total. Then this first set of signs all the way along is the questions, all 11 questions. Below that is the A, B, C, D possible choices, possible answers to the questions. And then finally, we have something that was highly requested, or suggested I should say. It's our scoreboard. It's not set up now, of course, nothing's behind here yet. But I did find a way so that when you start the game, all these lights will be off, all these redstone torches. And if you get a question wrong, it'll stay off, but if you get a question right, it'll come on. So if you get question 1 right, 2 wrong, 3 right, it'll be on, off, on, and the rest will be off until you go through them. So normally to do that, oh, big leg. Normally to do that, you would need a bunch of T flip-flops, and it would be very difficult to get them that close together, like all these indicator lights together like this. But I found a pretty good way of doing it with using pistons, and I will show you that shortly. The very first thing I'm going to do is this scoreboard here. The second thing I'll probably do is a glowstone thing above there. And I haven't decided yet if I'm going to do another scoreboard, like one that keeps track of your losses and wins vertically maybe. But I haven't found a good way of doing that yet. And that's the progress so far. And of course I did use sandstone again for the border here. I think it looks good. Dark wood in the back. I kind of suggested either dark wood, black wool, or glowstone for the back, and most people seem to prefer dark wood, and definitely don't use glowstone. Black wool is a possibility, but more people said dark wood, so that's what I used, and I think the sandstone looks good with it, but I'm no expert. And the dark wood should match the rest of the building we're going to make here, since I'm thinking log cabin should work out pretty good. So I'm going to start working on this score display, and I will see you shortly. So I got the score display about half done now. I wanted to show it to you guys before I finished it up so that you could see how it works easily. Right now you'll see these torches are all off by default now. And this here is my memory unit system I built. Pretty happy with how this works. We got pistons underneath all these wood blocks. They're facing up, sticky pistons. Just have these buttons here temporarily. So normally these blocks go up and then down, they retract, but if this is powered, this wire here sends power to all these repeaters. And so when you hit a button, the block goes up, but it stays up, it doesn't retract back. That's because this repeater is sending power to the wood block, which then sends power down into the piston, so it's being powered, so it won't retract. And it also sends power to the left here to this repeater, sends power to this block, to this torch, up into this wood block, and on the other side is our score display indicator lights, which is now on. So that's pretty cool. Do that, now we have 5 blocks up. And so those effectively act as RS NOR latches, but they're you're able to build them very compact together. They're pretty simple, quick to build, which is nice. And then when you're ready to reset them all, I have this master wire here. If you unpower these repeaters, this block becomes unpowered and the pistons are able to retract. So you would do that by sending a pulse into this wire here, like that. And that's how that works. It's pretty cool. I'm going to finish it up now. I'll see you again in a little bit. Okay guys, we are back. Lots has changed since you last saw this, and it's actually been over a week for me since I last worked on this, since that last video clip you saw. My memory's getting a little bit hazy on how this all works, but I'll do my best to explain it. Let's go behind. There's been a few things added here. First of all, we got our thing here which keeps track of what question we're on. So this thing is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 blocks wide. And we have 11 questions. So each one of these blocks represents our question, and the wood block indicates what question we are on. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We are on the 6th question right now. If we hit this, if we got the question right, we would send a pulse to this wire here. I'll just press a button to mimic it. And you can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Our 6th question is correct now. And then it would move ahead to the next question. So we hit this one more time. You can see this is on the 7th one now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So it moved ahead. What this is doing, there's pistons moving it to the right. Then this one moves it down. There's another piston here moving it to the left. And below here is an exact copy of this row above. So we have 10 glass blocks and 1 wood block. So there's 22 blocks total, and 2 wood blocks in that. So it's just a copy. And yeah, we have our thing above here. Power goes here. Just like below, we have a thing that keeps track of what question we're on. This is just for visual purposes, this one up here. I'll be replacing the wood with glowstone when this is done. But it just tells us we are on the 7th question, because that's where this soon-to-be glowstone block is above. Right? And so if we send a pulse to this wire, this is the only block that power will get sent through to our piston on the other side, which causes it to go up, and since this is being powered, it stays up, and it causes power to go through to the other side to our indicator light. So that's how that works. And then when we get to the end of all this, when we finish our last question here, I will have to send a pulse to this thing, which will clear it all. And it will start fresh again. So, lots to it. I believe the thing I was having trouble with last when I was working on this was this selector panel. I never did figure out how I was going to do it. So this button here would be A, B, C, D for our A, B, C, D answers to the question above, multiple choice. I decided to have a gap between A, B, and C, D just to make it look more symmetrical because it's an odd number of questions, so we need an odd block in between. The wiring, though, is kind of crummy to do. So yeah, I had a wire below here. Any of these buttons you push will light this wire up. This is the player made a choice wire. And then we need to separate each of the button things as well. So this button would go left, I think. There's that one. I was trying to do it without blocking the player's view of the board here, which is very challenging. I could put half slab over that, no problem. But then the problem is, like, it just doesn't look the best. I would have to put a full block here, I guess. No, I can't. It would cut the wire. And if I leave it open like that, you can see the wire from the side. So I don't know. Not sure the best way of doing these panels. This selector panel. Would you shut up? Thank you. Ah. Lamb chops. I wonder if Notch is adding lamb chops to the game in 1.8. He's adding a whole bunch of different kinds of meats, like chicken and that, steak. So maybe could go for some lamb chops. Yeah, so I would have to have a block in front here. This would be covered. I'd probably run this wire through here and make it go down there somehow. This would be fairly nicely covered, and I would probably just have this like that. Yeah, I don't know. Kind of like that, I'm thinking, and then just have the crack open here. You won't be looking at the crack if you're on the side. And you can still see the board pretty easy. Yeah, I think I got it now. I think this is how I want to do it. I think it looks good. I gotta be careful not to abuse sandstone too much. People chew me out for that. So this is probably all the sandstone I will have in this building that we're making, which you see here, and I'll probably do the rest out of wood and stuff. It just looks so good. I can't resist. Yeah, well, the wires come out the back like this. There's a one wide gap between them, which is nice. So this button lights up that wire, and then this button lights up this wire. So I need to keep them separate. And I'll probably spiral them down into the ground, run them underground underneath all this stuff we have here. It'll have to be fairly deep. And then further to the right here we'll have that, I don't know if you remember that memory punch card unit loop thing I had in my previous video. Got to build that and the win-lose logic, all that stuff over there somewhere. And this covers up relatively nicely. You know, something like that. Looks okay, I think. Could even put one more in here. Yeah. So that's what you would see on the back if I did it this way, which I feel it's acceptable. Otherwise I'd have to build up higher and it would block your view of this panel, and that would suck. Okay. And I'll probably have like wood planks and stuff around the sandstone, but I'll do that later. Much brighter. Well guys, I'm about to go to bed here. It's getting late, so I'll probably wrap this episode up soon. One thing I want to say though is a big thank you to everybody that has contributed to this project. A lot of you have sent me your ideas, and I will be using some of these. So it's much appreciated. Especially I want to thank everybody that sent me the note block sequences. They are very handy because I'm not very good with music and that. So I have lots to choose from, which is great. And this wiring here turned out really well. It just spirals down. It's easy to keep separate like this. Still separate here. But at some point we need to join it together, which I'm doing over here. And these will connect to that punch card memory thing. I gotta build that like we originally planned. You know, if you watched the, I think it was episode 95 where I did all this. And I'm trying to keep it 16 blocks away or more from the player over here, so that the player won't hear the pistons looping around, just to make it a little bit nicer. It's good. I haven't run this wire yet though, so I'll just probably run it beside these ones once I figure them out. And yeah, so I think that's where I'm going to end it, because I'm getting tired, as you can probably tell by my voice, although I always sound sleepy. So, should be cool when it's done, and I will say thank you for watching, take care, have a good night's sleep, if it's night for you. Bye bye.